happy Mother's Day weekend to everybody. Greg,
I was going to say Mother's Day Eve, but you're right. Mother's Day weekend is better.
Yeah, I got a screen to share with you. Yes, I do. Here you go.
Just a second. You're sharing. I'm still sharing mine.
Stop sharing, Greg.
Stop.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So these pictures aren't all on WikiTree. This is something that I did for a talk that I did a few years ago, where I did my maternal line, and I did it left to right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, because the way Greg does it is the other way around, and it makes more sense. That you would be, if you were reading left to right, then you would be the most recent on the right, right? Anyway, so that is a picture of me. I was 23.
Look at you.
The next one is a picture of my mother. Not to be confused with my mom. This is my mother. This is the woman who gave birth to me and raised me to a certain age. Then that's her mother next to her. My grandmother, the one that's the focus of all my mitochondrial DNA testing.
Okay.
Then next to her is her mother, Nola. And then next to her is Sarah Wilburn. So those are my mitochondrial DNA. That's my mitochondrial DNA line.
Very neat.
Welcome to the LiveCasts. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. We have lots of people joining us. I can take that off for just right now. Stop screen. There we go. Say good morning and say happy Mother's Day weekend. Audrey Martin wins the WikiTree Winky button for being here first. She was here She was here 56 minutes early.
Wow.
And shortly followed thereafter by Jory Jordan, and not long after that by D. Spencer Carr, and not long after that by John Tyner. So I love how you guys show up early and chat.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. So we've got lots of people in here. We'll go on down. Judy Stutz is here. John Tyner, I mentioned you. Christine Miller, howdy y'all. Day Mellon the First is here. APM 17 from Melbourne. Finnegan is here. Finnegan.
Are my peeps here? He's looking to see if the peeps are here.
There we are. Mickey Baisley's here. Vicky Bianco. Victor is here. Lisa Gervais. Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for your hard work for the social media this week. Chris Ferriello is here. Let's see. Susie Cardo's jumped in. Chris Wine. Kathy Bauer. Quilter Arena.
Ooh.
Quilter Arena. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Alice Thompson's here. Let's see. Janet. Hey, Janet Isles. I'm going to be seeing you soon, Janet, in Toronto. You'll be seeing Greg's going to be there too.
Oh, is she going to the Ontario conference?
Yeah, we're going to have a WikiTree Day conference.
Nice.
We'll sign up. We'll show up in our orange one day for sure.
Yeah.
Get some pictures with people, Greg and I. If you see Greg and I wearing orange, grab us for a picture.
Yeah.
Alice Thomason, and no, we're not going together. I didn't even know he was coming until just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Judy Stutz, hello, cousin Mags. All right, so Hillary Gatsby's here, and let's see. Oh no, Janet's not coming. Oh, hugs. All right, so that's enough of us. Greg.
Yes.
So obviously, we're missing Betsy today. She's out.
We are missing Betsy.
She's out molding mines again. You know how that goes.
Yeah, that's right.
David Dodd just appeared up.
Appeared up.
I'm talking Appalachian again.
Okay. Oh, I love Dee's got a really cool number for her CC7.
Oh, gee, Willow.
Way to go, Dee. Nice number there.
Greg.
Yes.
Do you know any mothers?
Do I know any mothers? Well, yeah, I've got two. The one who raised me and the biological one that I. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is. Yeah, it's bonus. That's one of the bonuses of being adopted and then reconnecting with your birth families. You've got twice as many relatives to enjoy.
Well,
So,
yeah, you're like double. Like we have one of our sons is not a biological son of either one of us. Um, and so he has his biological mother. He has two mothers here. He has a stepmother. So that poor kid has four mothers.
Oh my goodness, that is
Four.
wild.
And he lives with his mother-in-law.
Wow.
Yeah. So he gets mothered.
That's a lot of mothering. Yes.
That's a lot of mothering going on. Yeah.
Well, when we get to the photos, I've got a nice picture that I found because my aunt passed away about a month ago, you may recall. And so I got a bunch of family photos from my cousin because there were some pictures, you know, how they do the collage at the funeral, right? There's some pictures that had my mother in it, my mom, and I hadn't seen those before. So I asked if I could, you know, if there were scans. So she shows up with this huge basket full of old photos. So I've scanned all of them and categorized them. So there's a really nice picture that will qualify both as a Mother's Day picture and a kid's picture. So I'll share that later.
I had a little bit of a breach happen with my Dropbox account.
Oh, no.
I got a letter from Dropbox saying that my personal data had been acquired through Dropbox, but none of my content had been affected. I'm like, how does that happen? I'm thinking about creating a cloud server with a Raspberry Pi. Have you ever done that?
No, but I've heard of people who have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making my own cloud server because that scared me. Yeah. And the fact that Microsoft and all the companies are making you go towards cloud services instead of they've messed up the networking within a house. Have you noticed that? Well, you don't. You use Apple. So anyway. Oh, and the Quilter says she doesn't.
She got a virus
we need the link for the Mother's Day question. I got a virus through Dropbox, so I don't use it anymore from Quilter. That's interesting. So yeah, I'm thinking about doing a cloud to put all my stuff in. I don't know why we went off on that. So, but the question is do you have any mitochondrial DNA that you have used that has helped you confirm any of your ancestors? There's a big group of people in genetic genealogy who just say that mitochondrial DNA is just not worth the work because it won't ever get you anywhere.
Oh.
And I have this to say to them: patience. Genetic genealogy, you have to have patience. You have to wait for that right tester to show up or the right match to show up. But that is the question. Lisa, can you grab the link to this real quick? You can find this very quickly, actually. If you go to the front homepage of WikiTree and scroll down to the very bottom of the page and then click on the picture. I like the picture this week.
Yeah.
And it'll bring you to the question of the week. Has mitochondrial DNA helped you discover or confirm any ancestors? So got about 39 answers. And instead of spending a lot of time talking about the answers, there's some really fun answers. I like this. Knowing the strict Baptist grandmother who raised me once my mitochondrial DNA assay results were completed, which revealed our female ancestral line to be that of Ashkenazi Jewish genetic heritage. She rolled over in her grave. That's interesting. Those haplogroups, those geographic locations for those haplogroups don't lie. I've got a good answer here coming up with, yes, my ancestor William O'Neill by family lore had an unknown first wife who was the mother of the first three daughters born in 1832, 1834, and 1836 in Alabama. Now, this is a really good use of mitochondrial DNA. Then a second wife, Margaret, unknown maiden name, had another 4 children in Rapides Parish, Louisiana. We needed to know if Margaret was actually the mother of all 7 of those children, not just the 4 children. So they had mitochondrial DNA tests done on 2 descendants of the first 3 daughters and on a descendant of a child from the next 4, and the results were identical. So unless those 2 women were sisters, then you've got something interesting going on. So that's really cool. But she also, Virginia Fields is saying that she also used the Family Search AI search. I haven't used that. Have you yet?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So that sounds interesting. I like that people are actually finding ways to use AI that are other than doing pretty pictures and writing. I use it. I admit that. I use it for helping me with some writing sometimes. And do you have to source that you used AI? That's another question that people.
Oh, I would think you should.
Yes,
for sure.
People should. But do they? Do they say this portions of this work were done by DALL-E, especially if you have some cool things?
Don't you just have to count the fingers?
What's that?
Don't you just have to count the fingers on the hands? Wasn't that one of the early things that they would sometimes have 6 fingers?
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah,
they're learning.
They're better now, I'm sure.
But that's called a hallucination when they create something that isn't real. Yeah, I like that. They're hallucinating. Here's one from it's a long one from Ray Sarlin about no, not really, and he goes through all of the work that he did with that. And then the answer is a year can be a long time in genealogy, so take your time and wait, because sometimes those matches show up. Let's see. And 4 of our cousins from the 3 ancestors proved 5th great grandmother. All right, there's a question down here from, oh, look, somebody answered that. I should make this the best, right?
Look at that. There's you.
Should I make myself the best? No. My answer was yes. Yes, I was able to work the mitochondrial DNA of my patrilineal line. That's supposed to be matrilineal line.
Yes.
Using EKAs of close full sequence matches and WikiTree's category system to map geographically where our mitochondrial ancestors lived. The Appalachians. Biscuit! Using this method, I identified autosomal testers who already existed en masse at one of the testing companies, but unrevealed in one of the large databases. I confirmed my grandmother's connection to her parents and her siblings. I can't let this go. I have to fix this. What was it? Matrilineal line.
You have to fix that.
I have to fix that. And I'm not going to listen to the grammar police there. So that's who did that? I did not pick that.
Wasn't me.
I think that's cool. Hit it by accident.
Did you just undo it?
So I wanted to show you a little bit of the mindset behind that, and then I've got another little thing to show you. So you've got let's see, is that the one? Yeah, okay. So you've got things that you can do. So this is my earliest known ancestor's mitochondrial ancestor, and this is the wonderful program that Greg put together that has me, my mother, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother. I don't have pictures for the other 2, and so I love that there's placeholders that I can have in there instead of the profile picture, which is for Nancy is her widow's thing from the Civil War. So I have this great way of acknowledging that she is the earliest known ancestor in my line with my incredibly hard to remember haplogroup. H1, B1, T1, 6362C.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got that, and I've got all the great information up here with my link off to MitoY-DNA and my link off to other people that match me as well, autosomally, who also match my great-grandmother. My great-great-great-great-grandmother. And all of these people, I've checked them, and autosomally, they all do match me. And that's going back.
Do they?
Yeah. So, well, there is some endogamy because it is Appalachia, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying that's a stereotype of Appalachia, but when you have groups of people living in an area that's very
close,
like an island, like they didn't have a lot of outside contact, and sometimes marrying your second or third cousin is the best option. So I've got lots of great information on her, where she lived. I just don't know who she is. I don't know her real last name. So I've done a lot of work, but I've got some really interesting connections that came up. So what I did is I went to Family Tree DNA, where all the mitochondrial stuff is, and then over to mitowydna.org, and I pulled up all of the earliest known ancestors listed for those tests. And for the mitochondrial line, it should be a woman. So I created a second haplogroup group called H1B1T16362C, mitochondrial group 1. And that is the earliest known ancestors that are from FTDNA. I put those earliest known ancestors up on WikiTree so that I could see those ancestors and their locations right in front of me. The one thing that I wish we would do is that we would put the death place, because like Melinda Cook Crawford, she doesn't have any locations, but in her profile, it lists that she lived in Tippah County, Mississippi. And you're thinking to yourself, well, Tippah County, Mississippi, that's not Appalachia. Oh, yes, it is. So here is the map that created Appalachian. It was a U.S. Federal government thing, created the Appalachian Regional Commission. And it was to help these people that were socially and economically isolated, living up in the mountains. And you can see that it comes up here from New York. Even though the Appalachian Mountains go all the way up into Canada, this is the Appalachian region. And you can see that Tippah County, it's right up here, right there. So there's a lot of Appalachian people who live down in North Alabama, Mississippi, and northern Georgia. You would understand northern Georgia. But a lot of people don't know that the Appalachian region goes into South Carolina, because, yes, there are mountains in the upstate of South Carolina. That's where I'm from. So you see all these regions, and you go back and you look at these categories. And if you look at them, they're all Appalachian. And there's something else that I know from the research I've done, is that I know that a lot of these women came over from Ireland and Scotland. And so there's another clue that I can work with. But I also used a bunch of people who had those autosomal DNA connections to me. And I started doing some triangulations. This fellow right here, Larry, is an absolute cousin. And there's a funny story about how I discovered another mitochondrial DNA match because of a mistake Larry had made, which was like a lightning bolt. So it's really fascinating. You got to work a bunch of different stuff, and sometimes you have to wait. The other question that I had that I wanted to talk about, let's see, is one where somebody's, here we go. Is this it? Yeah. I did FTDNA. This is from Ann Steingass. I did FTDNA mitochondrial test, and you can have that EKA sticker on your earliest known ancestor if it's a full sequence test, because a full sequence test goes out far enough that you're not going to change your haplogroup based on that. So on FTDNA, they have 60 matches with the haplogroup, 30 of which have a genetic distance of 1, and none was 0. I'm not finding any familiar surnames among the few people that have provided this information or included a tree. So the answer is no so far. And you might want to try putting in all of your EKAs for those 30 distance genetic 1, then you might be able to do the same thing I did to narrow down. Actually, doing that, found a person who lived at the same time as my 5th great grandmother and was also in the exact same county. So you can learn some stuff by going outside of just your specific. You have to use a lot of stuff with DNA, whether it's autosomal or not. But I wanted to point out that sometimes when you have lots and lots and lots and lots of matches and none of them are close matches, just kind of close, you might have something called a heteroplasmy. Now, Roberta Estes is the most prolific writer in all of genealogy. And she is a great scientist and a great genetic genealogist. She has a great blog and I'll slip this over and let's see if we can get that up in the chat. Greg, would you scroll that for me, please, or just throw it up?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
So here's the link to Roberta's thing. A heteroplasmy. A heteroplasmy means that there's a mutation going on, and that is why you may have lots of matches or lots of 1 matches and not 0 matches. But heteroplasmy is one of the first things I think when someone tells me they have no exact full sequence matches, but several that are at a genetic distance of one, meaning 1 mutation. That phenomenon usually means the tester has a rare mutation that no one else has. At least no one has tested their mitochondrial DNA yet with that mutation. So it just might be a heteroplasmy. And she goes on down, but here is what you need to look for. If you have a heteroplasmy, this is what your HVR, no, let's go up to the coding regions. So she talks about all of the different numbers that you might see at the end of these. So T, C, A, G. Those are the information you should see at the end of those. Sorry. But if you see something like a Y, then that may tell you that you have a heteroplasmy. And she goes down and she talks about these, and she talks about all the possible things that you could see in a test. If you have, like, if you're talking about AND gates and NOR gates, like electronics, that's the same thing with genetic genealogy. Or genetics, if you have some of these other things, you might have this, and if this is going to be this. So it's interesting. So you go to mutations in your mitochondrial DNA dashboard at FTDNA, go down and find it where it says mutations, and then click on these results. And if you see a Y at the end of your results, that may be why you have all of those people who are matches, but none of them a close match at 0. So there you go. There's your question of the week.
Wow.
And including your there we go. I'm going to zoom up. There we go. Little DNA.
Little DNA.
Yeah.
So thanks for showing us all about mutations.
Yes.
So really, Chris Ferriolo was just dying to say, I'm sure that you must be an X-Men, one of the X-Men now, a mutant.
I'm a mutant. I'm not heteroplasmy.
You don't? I thought you said you did.
Blaine Bettinger is. There are a whole bunch of genetic genealogists that are mutating, which I think is just kind of apropos.
That is so fun.
Yeah.
Neat. Okay.
I'm not going to put up what Chris just said. All right. So
really
there we go.
Avenger. Oh, not a mutant. You're an Avenger. Okay. Anyways, moving on. The theme for this week, for the profiles of the week, it's a double theme. It's which Eurovision mother are you most connected to? So all of the profiles are women who have performed in the Eurovision Song Contest, but they're also mothers, all of them. So it's a very interesting one. Now, I must admit, I recognize most of the names, but not all the names. But I don't recognize all the songs that they performed, except for, of course, some of the lead ones.
I think ABBA should be in it every year and just win it every year.
What's that?
ABBA.
ABBA, they won a number in a row, right? I think.
Eurovision is tonight, and it's interesting. We're talking about women this weekend because one of the contenders that was supposed to be in the show tonight has been disqualified because of some incident he had with a female worker backstage after his performance the other night. So interesting. It's a Me Too moment.
Wow.
The costumes are wild. I can put that up, Chris.
Have you watched Eurovision? I have heard about it, but I've never actually watched it.
I haven't.
We're just
I have watched the results, you know, like when they show who won and stuff, like they have the compilation. Yeah, I do that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to watch it, and so we'll know what we're talking about. But anyways, the two who are starting off are the two female leads from the ABBA group, Frida and Agneta. And for the weekly connection combat, the question is, which one of those two are you most closely related to? So for me, Annie is 27 degrees away, and Agnetha is 30 degrees. So I'm not close to either one really, but closer to Annie. So people in the chat, let us know which one of the two ABBA members you're closest to. What about you,
Mags? I gotta go pull it up. I was too busy looking at what you were doing. Then I was too busy focusing.
That's
on
okay.
Me.
So many of these performers are still alive, and so their profiles are short, which will be fine, because there's lots of other things we can talk about too. But who knows? When I say it's going to be a short profile section, it never is.
So Annie Fried is one of the ABBAs?
Yes.
So, what's her maiden name?
What's that?
Her maiden name?
Her maiden name is Lyngstad. So she was actually born in Norway. So that's why I was a little confused when I came here and I saw the Norwegian flag.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah. So
27 degrees.
Yeah. Born in Norway, and her birth name is Lyngstad, which is for her mother's name, Sinni Lyngstad. Her father was a German soldier, and she was born in 1945. So that sort of gives you a sense of what was happening there. She was a toddler. She emigrated to Sweden. So that's how she came to Sweden, where the rest of the ABBA group is, to live with her grandmother. Her mother joined her, but then died of kidney failure. So that's very sad. So her grandmother raised her alone. Yeah, her mother died when she was only 21. She joined ABBA in 1969. She met fellow musician Benny Andersson, who was, of course, one of the men. So that's we now got three names from the ABBA group. He produced her first album, and they became engaged. They performed together along with Bjorn, number 4 in the ABBA group, and Agneta, and in 1974, hence the contribution to this category. That's when they won the Eurovision contest with the song Waterloo.
I'm hearing it in my head. I've got the earworm going on.
Waterloo. And being a graduate from the University of Waterloo in Ontario, you got to love that song. In fact, when my wife and I went to Europe for our delayed honeymoon. We got married at the very end of August, and then we had to start teaching. But so the next summer we did a much longer honeymoon, and we went through Europe on the Eurail Pass and whatnot. But when we went through Belgium, we had to go to Waterloo, which is a really tiny little place. In fact, it's not nearly as grand as I thought it was. But I got my picture next to the train station with the sign Waterloo. But anyway, so that was their. That's her claim to fame, and ABBA's claim to the beginning of their rise to popularity.
Who's the second one from ABBA?
The second one is Agneta Faltskog.
Oh yeah, no, she's my furthest away.
Is she? Okay. Yeah. She's a Swedish singer, songwriter, member of the pop group ABBA. One of the best-selling music acts. One of the A's, like how she's one of the A's in ABBA. Interesting. The girls are both the A's and the boys are both the B's. Yeah, Dancing Queen, Waterloo. Oh, links to sample songs. Interesting.
Oh,
I won't play them. I don't want to get taken down.
More than 3 seconds.
Yeah, with 3 seconds. I was considering queuing up 3 seconds of each of the hit songs, but I thought, you know what, my coordination is not that good.
That would be fun.
It would be fun until we got taken down.
But if you sample 3 or 4 seconds, it's okay. But can you put 3 or 4 samples of the same artist song together? And is that more than? That's a good question.
It's a good question. I mean, technically, we should be able to do it. I wasn't convinced of my own dexterity to make sure I cut it off in time. So, and I didn't want WikiTree to all of a sudden be in the black books. So
no. We respect artists and copyrights.
That's right. That's right. The next profile of the week is Celine Dion. And she...
fun.
Yes. Now, interesting. She participated in 1980, but she was representing Switzerland. Did you know that? Like,
no.
Why, Ne partez pas sans moi, which of course is a song in French. But Switzerland has 4 official languages, French being one of them. So that's legit in that regard. So we're going to have to look at her ancestors just to see where's that Swiss connection. I'm seeing a lot of Quebec, of course. Canada. We're going to have to go further. Because into the 18... Where is the Swiss connection? Wonders. I should have looked.
Maybe the song was just very popular in Switzerland.
Maybe, but why would she represent Switzerland?
Well, if her song is the top of charts in Switzerland, is that enough?
Well, in the competition, she has to represent a country. So why would she?
Oh, okay.
Right.
It might be through her husband, but I thought he was French as well.
Yeah,
I thought he was. I know he lived in Canada.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going back. These are all her great grandparents, and they still all go back to Quebec. So she has super deep roots in Quebec. So I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat can figure out where the Swiss connection is.
Well, and that's the only comment we have so far, is it might be through her husband.
Huh. Well, we could try that through Renee. Let's see. Inquiring minds want to know.
Inquiring minds.
Syria. Interesting.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
But what does surprise me is that his tree's not filled out.
Yeah, that's right. Especially like this is... Let's see. Mitri Sara. Unknown.
We got a newbie in the chat. Christy just popped in to say hi.
Hey,
and just joined us.
Christy.
Hey, Christy.
Nice. This is very interesting. Well, this is a mystery that I can't solve. But I do have something interesting when I was looking at this, because Celine is she is my closest connection, and you can see she's my 8th cousin. Like, we're really close, relatively speaking. 16 degrees away. So I use my app, my Ancestor Webs app, and one of the features in that is you can go.
Okay, we had a comment in the chat just a minute ago about people saying that it's less about the music and more about the costumes now.
Oh.
Now, is this a costume for Eurovision of a sticky man doing some dance?
A dancing man, yeah. It does look like that, doesn't it?
It does. That's not a tree. That's a dancing man.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, it's so at 10. That's funny. At 10 generations apart, this is my connection to Celine Dion. So, and the reason they go off on jaunty angles, I don't know if you can tell. Some of the connections are pink and some of them are blue. I don't know if you can tell that at this.
Yeah, we could see the limbs.
You can tell the difference there. Okay, good. Well, the ones that are pink go off on the mother's side, and the ones that are blue go off on the father's side. So they veer to the left or they veer to the right, depending on which side. And that's what makes this little jaunty. That's what it makes it. Why it makes it.
It makes it jaunty. Oh, that's just another word for a pretty cool dance, right?
A jaunty little dance. So at 10 generations, at the point where we are 8 cousins, we only have 2 common ancestors, 1 ancestral couple. But look what happens. I go back 1 more generation, and remember what Megs was talking about earlier about
endogamy.
All of a sudden, we go from 2 common ancestors to 37 common ancestors. Look at that. Look at all those common ancestors along the top. And because there's so many, I'm just using initials, because if I put out their full names, it would go forever.
Yeah.
I'd have to use Meg's 3 monitors in a row to display that. But look at that. So here is my so there's my family tree, and it all goes through my birth mother. And
I think you should send this to Celine.
What's that?
I think you should send this to her.
You
have her email and phone number, right?
But look at both my so from my mother's side, which is the French Canadian, both her parents, both grandparents, like practically almost all of my ancestors have some connection to Celine's ancestors there.
We have an update.
Loads at that level, and
we have an update that the rules in 1988 said that they did not have to be a national of the country they represented. So Celine was there for Switzerland because they asked her.
Ah, okay, thank you, Lisa. There we go. Anyways.
That's why Lisa makes the big bucks.
That's why she makes the big bucks. That's right. Anyways, I thought that was a very curious, very visual explanation of how endogamy can just sort of come upon you and boom.
I think you should frame your dancing man.
Okay, let's move on. Lulu, to Sir with Love. But that's not the song she won the Eurovision for. She competed, and it was Boom Bang a Bang. Do you know Boom Bang a Bang? She was representing the UK, and in 1969, she performed Boom Bang a Bang.
I really wish we could hear some of these songs.
I know.
She's
maybe we could make a playlist. We should make
31 from me.
Is she? No, she is 33 for me. Yeah, except for Celine, most of them are pretty far from me. Born in Scotland. Does it say where? It doesn't say. She's a Scottish singer, songwriter, actress, television personality. And as of 2017, she was in the UK version of Who Do You Think You Are?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She, along with To Sir with Love and, of course, Boom Bang a Bang, she also sang the theme song for The Man with the Golden Gun, the Bond film. Did you know that? I did. No.
I just want you to say the song one more time.
Boom Bang a Bang. Boom Bang a Bang. There we go. And what I also didn't know is that you know that she was married to one of the Bee Gees.
Oh, no, I did not.
She married Maurice Gibb in 1969, same year where she sang Boom Bang a Bang. See how many times I can fit that in. Unfortunately, they divorced in 75. Very sad. But she was, at one point, she was a Bee Gee in law.
Oh, a Bee Gee in law. I was thinking of the letters, the postnomials.
Oh yeah, postnomials. CBE, Commander of the British Empire.
Yeah, I saw that.
One of her. So very cool.
So that's when you said she was a honorary BG. I was like, what does BG?
BG, yeah, no, BGs. Anyway, I won't sing there. Moving on to Isabelle Geneviève Marie-Anne Gall, born on the 9th of October 1947 in Paris, in the 12th arrondissement of Paris, in Seine, France. French singer. She won the Eurovision contest in '65, just 4 years before Lulu participated. And she remained very popular even until the 1990s, thanks to hits written by her husband, Michel Berger. Sold over 20 million records.
Wow.
And let's see, the song she sang was Poupée de cire, Poupée de son. So poupée is a doll, cire is wax. So a wax doll, and son, I'm not sure what it's referring to there, because it can mean bran or it could mean something. Yeah, I'm not sure what.
I guess you'd have to hear the song.
You'd have to hear the song.
Know the context.
Yes.
That's.
Anyways, her husband passed away suddenly in '92 when he was vacationing with his wife. That's a sad way to go when they're on holidays. And then she passed away and was buried next to him over 20 years later, 2018. Look at her when she was young. Then we have Françoise André René Dorin, also from Paris. Françoise was born in the 17th arrondissement. And French actress, author of plays and novels and songs, the daughter of another songwriter, Philippe René Dorin. And she married in 1950 to a journalist, Michel Cast, and apparently then also married another actor, Jean Paré. Wrote many songs, including Que c'est triste Venise, and performed by Charles. And for, let's see, it was N'avoue jamais. N'avoue. Never vow you, or something like that. To avoue, I think, is to avow or to, yeah, something like that. Representing France in the 65 contest. Also a comédienne, apparently. Interesting. In the biography in English says she was a French actress, but in French it says she was a comedian, as well as a French letter, a lady of French letters author. Moving on to Olivia Newton-John, Dame Commander of the British Empire. Born in England. I didn't realize she was born in England because I associate her with Australia. But she didn't, in fact, move to Australia until the family emigrated. I think she was 5. She was at the age of 5 aboard the Pinot ocean liner Straightheart. She migrated with her parents and her brother and sister to Melbourne, Australia. Her father obtained an appointment as a professor of German. And of course, at that point, Australia still had very close ties to the United Kingdom, so she remained a British citizen until 81, when she was forced to become an Australian, but that was fine because she often referred to herself as Australian. Though she did eventually move and live in the States in the end. Of course, very famous for her role in Grease, thanks Sandy, but her tie to Eurovision was she represented the UK with a song called Long Live Love. And yes, she was diagnosed with cancer and was quite a champion for causes for the cure. So, lots of awards, honors. This is a very nicely done profile. Look at that. We Honestly Love You. A play on one of the songs that she did. Moving on, Barbara Margareta Svensson, another one from Sweden, known as Little Babs. And there's a picture over here. You can sort of tell she's got a bit of
a personality.
Yes, just look at that. Born on March 9th, 1938 in Jarsvo, daughter of Ragnar Victor Manuel Svensson and Britta Ingegard Brolin, passed away in 2018. And she competed representing Sweden in 1961 with the song April, April. John is 27 from Babs. That's cool. Then we have Anna Maria Gertrude Schmidt from the Netherlands, from Holland. Capelle, Zeeland, Netherlands, born on the 20th of May, 1911. And look, she passed away one day later in a few years, on the 21st of May, 1995, the age of 84 in Amsterdam. Annie Schmidt was a Dutch writer, often referred to as the mother of Dutch theatrical song and queen of Dutch children's literature. Interesting. Praised for her distinctive Dutch language style, she's considered one of the greatest Dutch writers. Her contribution, where is she? She wrote the lyrics for the Netherlands entry, De Vogels van Holland, the Birds of Holland. So that's interesting. So she wasn't a singer, but she wrote the song, so that's her. She received, interesting, 1988, she received the Hans Christian Andersen Medal for lasting contribution as a children's writer. Isn't that neat? And there's her. One of the two songs, De Vogels van Holland, was voted second by the viewers. Yeah, there you go. And it was sung by Jetty Pearl, who is another one. Let me just find her over here. There she is, Jetty Pearl. was the one who sang the song. And she was born in 1921, daughter of Joseph Pearl and Rosa Winberg. She worked for the Dutch government in exile, and she sang songs which publicly made ridicule of the Nazis. And then later joined the Women's Auxiliary Army and was stationed in Rotterdam. Sadly, her uncle, one of her uncles, her paternal uncle, Baron Leon Pearl, was murdered in the Holocaust. And she was chosen to represent the Netherlands at the very first Eurovision contest. And she was the very first person ever to sing at the festival. So nice. That's kind of neat. The very first person to sing in a Eurovision was this lovely Jetty Pearl. And then let's see, we've done France. We did Lil Babs, we've done Anna. I think we just have two left. Moira Shearer, King Kennedy.
That is the only one this week that I am actually related to.
Wow.
Yeah, 15th cousins.
15th. Oh, you're much closer, but I'm a cousin too, distant. And she's from Scotland, Dunfermline, Fife, Scotland. Lady Kennedy, internationally renowned Scottish ballet dancer and actress, famous for performances in The Red Shoes and The Tales of Hoffmann, and Michael Powell's Peeping Tom. I didn't know there was a movie called Peeping Tom. Don't know how many people would want to see it, but
I bet it's not about a cat.
It's probably not. But look, she was lovely, Moira. She started her training in Rhodesia. Interesting. Her father was posted there, and then came back to England. She studied in the ballet school there.
Do you know also that Rhodesia is one of the destinations for the British home children?
Really?
There were a whole passel of kids sent to Rhodesia. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I mean, I knew it was a member of the British Empire, as a number of African states were, but I wouldn't have thought of that as a destination.
Isn't that interesting?
That is very interesting. And her entry in the Eurovision was, let's move down the lady. Oh, she was the host. She didn't sing. She was one of the hosts of the Eurovision contest. And then the last one, Cornelia Maria Brocken, another from the Netherlands, born the 3rd of December 1932, passed away at the age of 83 in 2016. And she won the second version of the Eurovision with her song Net als Toon, and represented the Netherlands. And she recorded a number of hits and songs. TV show Snip and Snap. Kind of fun. And there we go. And there are your profiles of the week.
Woo!
But woohoo! Yep. One of the things I did want to mention, have you seen this G2G post? There's a little challenge that Darren Kellett has challenged us to consider during this month. And that is about mother and daughters connection challenge.
Nice.
So I thought on Mother's Day weekend it'd be appropriate to sort of highlight this G2G post. And let me just put the link in the chat for you folks so you can check it out. There's lots of different things you can do around WikiTree. There's the regular WikiTree challenge. There's the little connection combat where they pick two profiles and you have to figure out which one you're closest to. Here's another one that is sort of topical that Darren has proposed if you're interested in doing that. There's no prizes except for bragging rights. So you're not going to...
And a healthier tree. Always
and a healthier tree, in which case everyone wins. But he suggests you can do two phases to it. You can verify your own family and basically go through all of your maternal connections and just verify that each of those connections is solid and has sources. And the other one is you can improve female notables on the tree. Both of those are nice ways of participating for the Mothers and Daughters Challenge. He's also offered a few options, so you can brag about having the longest connection. So you can post here in the G2G post what the longest connection that you have, that you verified. He says you can bring in a replacement. So if at some point your line is broken, or say the mother passed away early, didn't have other children, or we've lost the connection. If there's a stepmother or the husband married again, you could start following the stepmother and sort of take veer a little bit, off to the side.
Well, that's a cool challenge.
Yeah,
that's a cool challenge. The reason that I started the intro a little bit late on the LiveCast today was because we were trying to figure out who was going to do what, and I've decided I'm going to do the photos.
Are you? Okay, then. Well, you go ahead with the photos. I'll look at the ancestors.
All right.
So I will stop sharing.
Here we go. You messed me up, man.
There did I? Oh, I thought I was hitting remove on mine, but there we go.
So this is another G2G post that we can grab for you and put in the chat. There we go. So you can check out the photos of May and also post your own if you have some. There's a free space gallery where these photos are placed. Living twin and Shonda on 5th birthday. How cute. Twins. Neighbor kids riding Lucky. Let's see. I could do that. There we go. That's fun. You know, did they ever come through where you lived, Greg? And so you could, like, with a horse, and you could ride the little horse and take your picture on it? Greg's still with us? Did you? You're muted, man.
I am muted so that when if I was playing with the computer here and I'm finding the other things, I wouldn't make too much. I think there were horses at, you know, the fair, you know, once a year.
Yeah, this looks like somebody's horse because it's very bareback.
Oh wow, yeah.
And all these girls are on it. That's so funny. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That's 5 of them. So that's wild, pretty cute.
We did board a horse on our farm once. There was someone who needed a place to board their horse, and his name was Geronimo. He was a massive beast.
We'll scroll on down. We've got the Archer brothers. Pretty cute picture. We saw that last week, didn't we? Did we see that last week? From Noble, Ohio. Pretty cool. Cool little picture. And that's from Judith Fry. Nice. Let's go back. Is that all on the free space? Okay, let's go back to the original post. And we'll go to the 12 photos of the month post. Oh, nope, that's the thing. So we don't have any more new ones, Greg. All right.
We don't. Okay. Well, then. Well, let me show you my photo of the month then. This it fits the theme of children, but also mothers, because the person in the middle, that's my mom. That's my mom who raised me.
Nice.
And so this was one of the photos that came from my aunt, well, from my cousins, when my grandmother passed away. Now, my grandmother's not actually in this picture. The people on each side of my mother, my mom there, are her grandparents.
Nice.
And I had never seen a picture of my great grandfather Bay and great grandmother Bay.
Are you in this picture?
I am not in this picture, no, because so my mom was born in 1926.
Oh, wow.
And she's the oldest in the family, the oldest grandchild as well of these two, great grandma and grandpa Bay. So there's Uncle Joe, Uncle Basil, and Uncle Claire. And then I think those are my aunts, 2 aunts. The one who passed away, I think, is one of these, I suspect.
Oh, okay.
So let me think. So if she was born in 26, she's about 20 there, would you say? Or maybe a little less than that. Yeah. Nice. It's in the early 40s, I think this picture was taken, I'm guessing. But, and then these are some of her first cousins. And actually, this little girl here, can you see where my cursor is?
Yep.
The bottom. So she was one of my mom's first cousin, and I happened to see her at church yesterday. I had to play for 2 different funerals yesterday. So at one point, she was at church, and I showed her this picture because I told her I was scanning a bunch of pictures, and I needed her help identifying who all these kids were. I didn't realize that she was one of them. Like, I mean, I knew she was a cousin, but I didn't know if she would have been born yet, or if she was, you know,
what year was this picture taken?
So I don't know. There was no date on the back of it. It
looks like early 60s to me. Late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, I think that's too late.
Really?
Yeah, that's too late.
So how old do you think your mother is in this picture?
Well, she was born in 1926.
Right.
So I think she's around 20 there. You know what? I should look at Uncle Claire. If I looked at his, because he looks about 10, maybe.
Oh, him over there. I have a hard time with the older photographs because I always think that the kids look older than we did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, anyways, but I didn't realize she was in the picture, and then she identified herself. She said, "That's me." And then when she saw the pictures of her grandparents, she teared up.
Cool.
She didn't have any pictures of her grandparents, and they were such lovely people.
Nice.
So, anyway, so that's my photo of the week for you, which I haven't posted on GG, but I should do that. Anyways, we're celebrating ancestors, and now I wasn't here, so you'll have to tell me where we left off last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did she give you a note on that? Let's see.
Like she said, Anne Fiordalisi answered twice with multiple ancestors. Okay, am I in May? I'm in May. Okay, Anne. I probably have to scroll down, right? There's Anne. Oh, there we go. Okay. So Anne says, I have lots of birth, marriage, deaths in my family in May. Here are the key ones. My paternal grandparents, Attilio Fiordalisi, born the 20th of May, 1893, and Aurelio in Calabria. And he passed away the 25th of May, 1966 in Cleveland, Ohio. And here's the photo from my grandfather, Attilio, is the one kneeling. Let's see if I can open this image in a new tab. Look at that. Here's Attilio.
That's cool.
That's a great picture. Left to right, Josephine, Joseph, Anne Herman with his son, Richard. And then Anna Porcello Fiordalisi died on the 20th of May, 1956. I barely knew her since I was born in 51, so only 5 years old. So if we were to go to Anne's profile, and then we could find, and look at her ancestors, we could find Attilio right there. And there is his profile. Look, it has the original birth certificate there, Certificato de Nascita. I loved how the Italian ones, some of them anyways, are specific enough. They tell you exactly when someone was born. 11:10 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, eh? He was drafted for the World War I. There's his draft. There's a marriage record between him and Anna Porcello. 4 children. Details from the census. Look at this wedding photo here. Very nice. Ooh. And then the same photo that we saw in the G2G post. Very nice. Oh, and we even have research notes for you, Megs.
Yay.
Oh, that's for me. What did I do? Oh, you know what? It came up and I was looking on the birth record, a street address is given. Yes. Yeah.
Gotta love those research notes. Let other people know what you're looking into.
Even remind yourself that you left a note.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some, it posted up because there was something because of one of the tags. It came up in one of my feeds, and I thought I would give Anne a little help by making that note. Be interesting if you go to that street address.
That's a nice profile.
Yeah, very nice. Great work, Anne. And then the second one, 2 marriages in her family in May. Ferdinand Francois Rupier and Violet Rose Ray were married on the 7th of May in 1940 in Kankakee, Illinois. And William Bernard Mass and Beatrice Bertha Ray were married in 10 years earlier, 15th of May, 1930. So where is the connection with the Rays family? Here, let's go back.
So if you're wondering, I should do a play-by-play. So
there we go.
Greg is currently it's like we're just here following Greg around.
You're just following me. So it was Ferdinand and Violet, right? Ferdinand and Violet. So there they are. So there's Ferdinand. Married in May. There, 7th of May. Oh, now that says 7th of May, 1927.
Uh-oh, did you just find a family secret?
I don't know, but it looks like the same. They're the same people, aren't they? Ferdinand Francois Rouquier and Violet Rose Rouquier. Maybe it was a typo on her part. Instead of 1940, she meant 1927. I don't know. Anyways, looking through, there we have the civic record, Narbonne. The record shows his parents and his older brother. Migrated from France. Did it say when he migrated? He was born in France in 1906. After his parents died, he moved in with his father's brother, Jean-Baptiste, lived in Béziers, went to sheriff to become a chef. Very cool. And he was hired on as a cook as a private club in Chicago. And he took a ship from Bordeaux, paid for his passage to America, and became one of the cooks. There's the ship that he took. This is another great profile. Look at all these lovely pictures along the side here. And then I love how they have the documents in the middle there. Holy matrimony. Yeah. Marriage
what does the document say?
And what does the document say? Kankakee, May 1027.
There we go.
There we go. Thus it is.
Blanca wants to let us know that her birthday's coming up on the 16th.
Ooh, very good. Very good. Well, my daughter's birthday was yesterday, but you know who else had a birthday yesterday? Our forest elf. Eowyn's birthday was yesterday.
I knew she had a birthday coming up because I saw she was having a big party with her spousal unit and all sorts of family. That's so fun.
Yes. She sent me a message on Discord to wish a happy birthday to my daughter, and then I remembered that. Well, I think we talked about that birthday. That's why she remembered, because it was her own birthday. So happy birthday, Eowyn. Anyways, lovely profile. Thank you very much, Anne, for sharing those. And I think I will turn it back to you, Megs, to bring us home.
Oh no, it's only 11:03, Greg.
I know, it's early, isn't it? Okay, well, we could talk about other things.
So we do have some things going on the tree coming up soon, as we come to the end of another fun Saturday roundup, and celebrating mothers and mitochondrial DNA and children and ancestors that are mothers. Chris Whitten has a post that says that we have 7,233,104 mothers on WikiTree. Isn't that a cool statistic? I like
that. Is neat.
That's
a very neat stat.
Yeah. So that's fun. And you see the Connection Combat. We're going down here. We've got what's going on what's happening around the tree in 2024. And today's date is May the 7th.
11th. 1-1.
Oh, I was looking. Well, that's funny. I was looking at my fuel I've used so far today is 7 calories. May the 11th.
Yes.
Saturday sourcing sprints going on today. We've got the question of the week that'll come out. We've got 52 ancestors of the week. The Data Doctors Challenge is coming up the 14th through the 21st, and then the Connection Combat, and then Judy Munn is the WikiTree Challenge.
Ooh.
So check that one out. And we can fly over to the social media tab from the Ambassadors Project, and we can scroll down here to the week of May 12th coming up. You see a great picture of Judy Munn there as our challenge. So you keep people do this to me. Lisa, you do this on purpose. You find things that I can't pronounce. I am not as good as Greg. The Cemetery Project is the
Waka Raka.
Okay, stop it. The Waikaraca Cemetery. Come on. We don't know the question of the week yet. The one named Tuesday is McCraw.
Okay, that's easy.
Combat's coming up. What are you doing back there? The one place study is Brooklyn, Maine. Ooh. And the project showcase is Germany. Friday night date night. Julie is so lonely on Friday nights when she does this. So you need to show up in your best attire for a cocktail party with Julie. So Friday night date night. You know, it's like one of those speed dating things.
Yes.
Hollywood Walk of Fame spotlight. And then, of course, you have the LiveCast. And what this is there's all sorts of links where you can share in your social media information all of the great things that are going on in WikiTree during the week and let other people know that we've got stuff going on. So there we go. Lisa Gervais says she has trouble pronouncing that as well. Thank you, Lisa. That's good. So that is the week that was WikiTree, kind of, sort of, and kind of, sort of moving on into the next. We wish every mother, every child of a mother, a happy Mother's Day coming up tomorrow. And have a great week. Stay out of trouble. And we'll see you next week, same place. Same time.
See ya. Bye.